might have to turn it up. Ain't gonna get the lock.
Mine takes forever to get to.
This one time?
There we go.
Man cap?
People like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say that's the bad guy.
Oh, jeez.
So, what I'm making good?
Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I wanna ask them more, y'all thought it was winning? Kiss in the rain. So I come out on this minute. Come out and make that country was it. Captain and lieutenant on the top can to make Captain word like I'm broke. That Lambo I knew, she don't ride like my ghost. I'm riding around my city with my head, no I told. Cause these wanna be dead, and I gotta make it back home. Cause my mama need that real money, my son needs some help. Deep, try to take my life, like around get killed. You turn around, you turn around, get sold. Cause these silly, I'm cold, but we know around no go. No, all I know is murder. When they come to me, I got that. That's what they got. Long beans, I didn't get the DOA. I didn't get the KODs. Every time I went up, try to get the door and 30 G's. Now I'm
That is what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up. This is Neo Queen and LaWanda. I'm both of those personalities. Listen, don't try me. Don't try me. So listen, this is what Set It Off Sundays topic. And look at this rain, y'all. Look,
It was
I don't see
horrible
no, I
coming
don't see
here.
no rain right now.
man, it was raining pretty badly, and so we had to make sure. First of all, go ahead and do your thing, Mario, because you know how you do your
I
thing.
don't even wanna, we gonna go down the line. She ain't no newcomer no more.
She's
Like,
no,
a part of the
she's
family.
family now. She's part of the
Part of the
family.
family, so I'm letting her
She's part of
do
the
some
band.
thing.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lisa Herkman.
And this is LaWanda, aka Neo to the Queen, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what it is, you know who it is, Mr. K2 101. And I'm here with the team. What's
And
up?
you're listening to
That's What's Up
on K254 Radio. baby.
Cheer.
Yes. So, I mean, since you are with the fam, how does it feel to be a part of the That's What's Up team?
Man, this is awesome. I love this because it gives us a chance to reach out and hit on these topics that are so important to all of us and to our community.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And how was y'all's week, your weekend? What was going on with you?
Whew. Well, weekend was pretty cool. It was relaxing. I just cleaned my apartment like
Right.
always.
You just got out of jail.
She always talking about she cleaning
She
up.
just
her
got out of
butt.
jail. From jail. Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
weekend,
Uh,
every week, every day, she cleaning her apartment.
Okay, look, see, I'm single, so I don't really do much except for hang out with my girlfriends and clean my apartment and work on the week during the week.
Damn, what's going on in the apartment that you need to clean it every weekend?
I'm saying,
Huh?
she having parties.
Little Macarena. Little.
Look, I get drunk and I do arts and crafts and
Okay, I'm not.
And listen, I have to put it out there. Our other fam, Zimbri Cruz,
Shout out to Z.
will not be here. This rain kind of scared everybody off. It's a little dangerous out there. So for anyone who's out there driving, y'all make sure you be careful. I know you can't watch other drivers, but just take care of yourself.
Pay attention to the road, not
Yeah.
the phone.
Yes, no texting and driving. Okay.
No texting and driving.
And
Audio, do not text and drive.
Yeah.
No more.
So how was your week, Mario?
Man, very excited. So I just retired and shit.
That's what's up.
Just retired after 20 years. 20 hard years of slavery. That's what's up. You know, that is the longest applause ever.
I know, in history.
That was longer than my retirement ceremony. Swear to God. Like, seriously. But yeah, I just been really just taking all that. It's different when you retire because you start realizing all the shit you couldn't do.
Yeah.
For real, it's like, well, you know what? You can just go out and party. You don't have nowhere to be on Mondays. So.
Not at the PT formation.
Definitely. I'm trying to grow my hair out now and stuff. So next week, I'm gonna break it out, y'all. I'm trying to get the 360 waves. I think I got like maybe 120 of waves right now. So
I think you need dreads though.
I don't know.
I
can't get a hair on my face.
So will Monday be your
Like the long
first?
hair.
I mean,
Will Monday be your first official day as a retiree?
Yes.
Okay, so the next time that we all meet up, you have to tell us like how your week went. Like, because when I retired, I stood in the kitchen with my coffee cup, then I stood in the living room, and I thought, where am I supposed to be? I feel like I'm about to get a phone call that's like, where are you? What are you doing?
Okay, so here's the thing. I actually had a relapse. It didn't hit me that I retired until like afterwards, and I was walking, and somebody went to go salute me, and I was just like, so you ain't gonna salute?
Oh.
No, I forgot what it was. Don't blame me, blame the army. I'm just saying.
So what was the reaction?
Condition.
No, the soldier just looked at me and was like, well, you in civilian clothes. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I can't say
Well, that's what's up beside your head.
But you know, there's a lot of people who were in the military, say like 20 years ago, but they still have that mentality. So if they go somewhere, and I'm just giving you for instance, I was in PT clothes, you know, shorts and a shirt, and I was on the elevator. This older couple got on the elevator. I forgot that I had studs in my ears. So he was like, oh, so is that the new uniform? I wasn't wearing that. This man was in civilian clothes, so I'm like, wait, I could have been disrespectful, but I was like, you know what, I don't know
him.
if he's just...
I'm glad you didn't disrespect that man.
I didn't disrespect him.
Because he elderly.
He was elderly. I respected him because of that.
Right.
Not necessarily, I didn't know who you were from a can of paint. So,
Facts.
But my week, I didn't do anything.
Nothing.
You watch your grandbabies.
I mean, that's a given.
You was doing some big things last weekend, though.
No.
First of all, hold on. Before I say anything else, man, shout out to the queen, you know what I'm saying, and Miss A right here. I'm sorry. Miss A right here doing big things last week when I couldn't make it. Z wasn't here. She just took the reins and was like, I'm going to run this thing. So shout out. Do the applause. Not the long applause. You got the short one?
Nah.
Okay, well, damn it. Let's give her a standing ovation. Give the team a standing ovation because they did big things. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jelly and Love Doctor too, because I seen That's What's Up representing for them.
Yes, we
you know
had to make sure she had her
doing
new
big
show,
things.
Jelly the Love Doctor. So everybody who
fun.
want to get some, extra suggestions to spice up the bedroom, y'all want to make sure y'all log in or hit her page, follow her page at 9. Her show is 9 to 11 p.m. on Thursdays and Sundays.
Damn, you got booty call hours.
Man, that is booty call hours.
Booty call hours.
2 hours of
Sex.
for your belly. What was it?
2 hours of sex.
What was it?
Wet jello on your neck.
You crazy.
We gonna make sure people call in today though.
Yeah,
I want people to talk to us today.
So let me go ahead and give you my spiel.
There you
If
go.
you want to, make sure you follow us, follow, share our page. That's What's Up on K254 Radio. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So definitely go on there. Invite your friends, your family, your dog, your cat, your Uncle Tommy, Tyrone in them. Make sure that y'all do that. And if you want to catch up on like our previous shows, you can go on YouTube under That's What's Up, K254 Radio. Awesome.
Go ahead and give a shout out.
Do a shout out.
Let's do a shout out to our producer, Miss Victoria
Facts.
Johnson.
Give her applause, goddammit. Give her applause. Come on, shit. Come on, shit.
Her birthday is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, so we got the
Yeah.
we
Oh,
got
man.
the
She
Leo
turning
Virgo.
15 in the building.
15, that's what's up.
Taking her to get her permit. Nope, her permit coming tomorrow.
So we are doing birthday shout outs for the Leo/Virgo birthdays for the month of August. So if you have a birthday, make sure that you hit our live feed, so that we can give you a birthday shout out and sing you a little. And let me just go, happy birthday to you.
Let me get my back right. Let me get my back. Hold on. Let me get my back right. I feel good.
Happy birthday.
I'm gonna see if she got some rhythm. I'm looking dead at your ass right now. You better do something. You.
I don't have rhythm.
I think she was doing the Macarena and Tootsie Roll.
What's that?
You know, don't joke on my style.
Look, I'm trying to be,
Politically correct.
nicer.
No.
Are you trying to be nice?
No. You know what? We didn't say the topic though, did we?
Okay, no, we didn't say the
Hey,
topic.
get 'em.
But
Let's
before
go.
I do that, we want to make sure that at the open call time, you do call in to 254-300-1252. Again, for you challenged people, because I know you have some challenged people out there. So the number again is 254-300-1252. And that's for
What was the
open call
number?
time.
What was the number? I didn't hear it.
254-300-1252.
Is that her come and get it voice?
Yes, come on and get it. No, see, that ain't even my lane. It's
Oh,
Shelly's
Lord.
lane.
Oh, Lord.
But what is the topic for this week? Because, there's a lot of things going on in the news. So what topic are we dialoguing about?
Did we decide? Because you know how we do it. Like, we come up with a topic and then, like, all of us have different ways we want to express it.
And that's what it is. Mine is immigration/deportation.
Oh, shit.
Who's next?
Okay.
Are you next?
I might be next. I don't know. After 20 years, they might get me out about it.
You know what I'm saying? And this is my thing. I feel like I always have to start at the very beginning, what is immigration? Or what is an immigrant? So an immigrant is a person who comes to live permanently in a foreign country. Now, if you want a biology type of definition, it's an animal or plant living or growing in a region to which it has migrated. Now, let me put this out here.
Yeah.
Because you have to use it in a sentence. Millions of immigrants came to America from Europe in the 19th century. So, think about that, what I said. Millions of immigrants came to America from Europe. So who comes from Europe? White people come from Europe. So that means they're not natives, right?
Right.
So if we're deporting immigrants that are not from the United States,
Those would be people who are not originally from this land.
that means everybody, if that's the case, if we're going to deport anybody, we don't have to start with
Everybody.
Europeans. No shade. I'm just saying, we just going to
Shade, goddammit.
We just gonna
I
point
felt a
that
lot of shade. That's why I'm wearing a hat. Because it's shady.
The U.S. Constitution, which went into effect in 1789, gave Congress absolute authority over immigration law.
Okay, and then what does that mean? Go ahead and explain. It. I don't understand.
Well, that means that it's up to Congress to take the laws that are put in and pass them and make sure that they are distributed and that people are doing what they're supposed to by the laws of Congress for immigration. So you must, if you're an immigrant and you want to come to this country, there are rules and regulations that you have to follow to do that. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm moving to America, and you come here and you live and you work. That's not how.
But I did that. But who sets the rules? Who, if we're going by the Constitution, is the Constitution for everybody, all people,
Well, the
or is it
Constitution
for
just
some people?
the Constitution is in place just to say this group of people will decide these laws. So the Constitution doesn't govern the laws of immigration. That's up to Congress. So between Congress and the President, they have to come up with these bylaws so that people can come into this country legally and stay here legally. And if not, you have to go.
So there's definitely an elephant in the room right now. So I'm going to go ahead and be the bearer of bad news. So when we talk about Congress and we talk about the Constitution, here's the thing. Our forefathers were not African Americans.
Right.
Okay, so when we talk about how does this affect minorities here in the United States of America, here's the thing. Minorities didn't create the laws.
Right.
So the thing about it is, if we didn't create the laws, the laws are being imposed upon us.
Mm-hmm.
So when it gets down to the topic of discussion in reference to why are we pushing people out of America? Is there not enough room?
No, the reason we're pushing people out of America is for economical stress reasons.
Okay.
And for,
Okay.
We don't have enough in place for these people. That's why we do have laws and regulations. So you have to have certain paperwork in order to become a citizen. And that means, when you're a citizen, you're going to pay your taxes. And that's
Okay.
going to help us out economically. And that's where we grow as a country. So if they don't have this paperwork in order, they're coming here. Most of them are going to be sending a good portion of their money back home to their home countries for their families, because they don't have any money there, which I understand and I get, and that's a great thing to do. But at the same time, the influx of immigrants into this country is not matching our economic situation. So money's going out, but there's not a lot of money coming in from immigrants.
Okay, so this is that's a great viewpoint. This is how I see. Because a lot of things, we talked about the boom, right? Black-owned businesses here in, let's just say Texas or whatever. We want to keep the black dollar in a community. So it's great that we have a diverse panel right now. Because everybody's going to come from a different standpoint, and we're going to get down into the trenches. My thing about it is like this. If I'm an immigrant, and I'm sending money back to Yugoslavia or whatever the case may be, right? Does that take away from America?
No, but look, I think the thing is, okay, let's distinguish.
So the deportation was initially enacted to get the persons out of America that were here illegal first, and violent and causing issues like we need to.
And I'm told, you know what's so funny? Because when the Queen just said something very important. If this did start in the Obama administration,
yes,
I can understand and support that. We want to get the criminals, we want to get the illegal aliens that's here causing harm in America.
Yeah.
Great.
Which was Obama's objective, because what he did a sanction. He didn't do a ban. The sanction was to make sure that no criminals were getting in, and if there were people that you were not coming in illegally, meaning you have the proper documentation.
Right.
So what he did, he slowed down the process of, say, the background checks to get your visa. So that would mean you're going to do polygraph tests, you're going to do all of these different tests to make sure that you're not a criminal.
Right.
But the thing is, let me see, and that it's a presidential proclamation, suspension of entry of aliens subject to United Nations Security Council travel bans and International Emergency Economic Powers Act sanctions. That is the name of it. What he did it in a 6-month interval. This started July 24, 2011, and in countries such as Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. These are countries that he was actually doing it. Now,
Right.
typically, Iraq, who are we fighting with? Who do we send soldiers to protect against insurgents? That's why he was doing it.
Right.
The thing is with Trump did a full ban, meaning he didn't want anybody to come over regardless. And the difference between him and Obama was looking at it. If you're coming over and you're contributing to the economic growth of the U.S.,
Right.
then
Yes.
we want you.
Yes.
If you're trying to start a business where you're
Definitely.
putting back into the economy, we want you. If you're trying to go to school or you're going to get a business or something like that, then he created things like DACA, D-A-C-A. So Delta Alpha, Charlie Alpha, or DAPA, Delta Alpha, Papa Alpha. These were to help people who actually came over like 16-year-old, and that was to help them go to school to get some type of education or degree so they can stay in the state.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You know what? I like the fact that you guys are pointing out a lot of facts, because a lot of people feel like when the Trump administration or someone that represents the Trump administration, or you just have those political arguments, they say, okay, well, Obama's the one who started this. And you can agree. Well, you can agree and say, yes, he did start it, but and now it's shift to something else. Versus saying, well, we don't want no illegal aliens. We don't want no immigrants.
But this is not, and people are, it's driving me crazy because people are acting like this is the first time it's ever happened. This has happened throughout history. In the 1920s, restrictions on immigration increased. The Immigration Act of 1924 was the most severe.
Yeah.
And the most severe, stating that immigrants from Eastern Europe and Africa, they were on a quota for them. You can only have so many coming from each country. And it completely restricted immigrants from Asia, except for Japan and the Philippines. This limited the overall number of immigrants and established quotas based on nationality.
Meaning you can only have so many
Right.
black folks, so many Chinese, and they're
Right.
go ahead, Mark.
But you-
And this has happened periodically.
But see, here's the thing. You two together make a hell of a point. You say it. We talk about economics. Who do you think, when you talk about IT jobs, who do you think hold the most IT jobs?
Shoot.
Indian.
Indian?
I would say
Indian, and
no,
what's next?
Asian.
Asian.
Asians, yeah.
Those two right there. So when you say we deporting and we only letting a certain amount of people in, shit, they don't want to run in our IT.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of our IT that they're running is usually ran from their own countries.
True.
Yeah,
True.
that's why we're doing foreign.
I see this like this. I see reverse racism, and somebody.
Yes.
I see reverse racism in reference to African Americans were hoarded and brought to America, right? Separated, broken up, or whatever case. I see now with this immigration piece and pushing Mexicans or Spanish people back to wherever they're hoarded up together,
Yeah.
right? And they're saying, okay, we're going to send babies over here, we're going to send moms over here, and to me, it's reverse racism. And I think if we don't say something now, who's next?
Right.
Exactly.
Who's next?
And the thing is with that, since you're talking about the babies, I'm looking at the conditions because, you know, the media is going to feed you the narrative that they want you to
Definitely.
jump on the bandwagon
Definitely.
of. So when you see these little kids in these cages with the foil blanket,
That tugs at your heartstrings.
it does. And so with being a woman with children, I'm sensitive when it comes to the babies.
Yes.
I don't know how a man feels in regards to children, but I'm assuming in my mind that regardless if you're a Republican or Democrat, that just seeing those children in that state would be some sort of a, wait a minute, this is not right. Let me do something about it. I don't care
You're
who the president
traumatizing
is.
these children.
So then I look at how every turn or everything that Obama tried to do, they stopped it, right? The Congress stopped it, right?
Right.
But everything Trump tries to do, which is always an injustice to American people, I'm not going to say specific nationalities, American people, because what affects one affects all of us, whether it's indirectly or directly. I can't even imagine how this is the word I mean, uncompassionate that Congress is in that line. You got something to say? What you gonna say?
All I'm gonna say this. Okay, I feel like this. With Trump's administration, it has been told that he has increased jobs here in the United States of America. Here's my thing.
Okay.
I'm going to say this now that I'm out the military and I got my DD-214. This is how I feel. I don't give two shits if you've increased jobs as a janitorial services or custodian somewhere.
Are you specific?
No. Here's the thing.
No,
The thing that's increasing is these low budget jobs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can go and I can work at the entry level of an office or whatever. That doesn't say I'm gonna have a 401k. That doesn't say I'm gonna have those other benefits or whatever. If you're increasing jobs here under the totem pole, under the radar, that means okay, you built more 7-Eleven so I can work at. Great, cool. But that doesn't give me the education I need to go out and be an entrepreneur.
If
So
you have someone who's educated, then they are a threat to you. So I don't want to have you educated.
But if I
Notice
say
that
to
the education laws haven't changed with this. They're just getting more and more stackable against you.
Definitely. My thing is, if you increase popularity by saying I've increased the jobs, great, your statistics
Yes.
go up. My thing about it is now we have to ask the question of what jobs?
For real.
What jobs?
Are you increasing the affordability to get the education for a career after your job?
Well, you have
I love what you just said. It's not a career, it's a job.
Yes.
Unless you're going to make a career out of being at 7-Eleven.
And you're only working to pay bills because you're not really living because
Exactly.
you're breaking your back.
Exactly.
And I heard some guy say, well, they're coming up, the immigrants are coming up, taking up the jobs from us. These are
Did
jobs
you
that
get that
y'all
job?
don't want to even do. So what does
Facts.
it matter if
Yes.
they're coming over here? And
Let them.
okay,
Legally.
the Constitution is America is selling this dream. You have, and I didn't even write down the verbiage that they were using. They're selling this. The grass is greener on the other side. The other side would be the U.S., right?
Right.
But then when someone tries to come over here, you're making it I get making it difficult for criminals to come over here.
Actually, our laws for immigration are set up to read very easily, and they have people in place for immigrants who are trying to do their paperwork legally,
So
so it can be understood.
So it's the illegal aspect of immigration is that what we're talking about, or
Right.
what the biggest problem is. Now I've seen a video. This lady, she went and filmed. It was actually a video that you had shared, but I went to the page for the notes. She showed another area to where the immigrants are coming through. They were coming over this fence. So I don't think that. Do you think it's possible for them to keep every single person who's trying to come over here out?
They
Even
can't.
if you build the wall, there's underground tunnels. So
They can't
the
keep
ground-
drugs out of this country and human trafficking.
What do you
from
think
stopping.
drugs?
No, drugs are not going to be kept out of this country.
No, because
Neither
it's
will
greener.
human trafficking, and
It's not
neither
gonna
will
be
any
easy.
kind of violence.
Yeah, I mean, my thing about it is like this. First of all, if you're just tuning in to That's What's Up, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about who's next. We're talking about immigration. So if you're just tuning in, make sure that you stay tuned. The Queen is going to make sure she throw out the number for y'all again. But my thing about it, I want to really get into the nitty gritty of this or whatever, because I really feel like when we talk about immigrations, we always kind of shy away from, it's like this. I don't mind people coming into America.
Yeah, right.
I don't mind. My thing about it is, of course, we don't want criminals and we don't want people that's going to be the undesirables. That's great. That's great. The undesirables to be here because, of course, we want our children to be safe.
Yeah.
We want to be able to go to the movies and not have an issue.
Their
But it's so funny you said it because we're not safe now. We have school
And that was
shootings,
that was my next point. My next point was we have so much shit going on here now. Even if you say immigration is not a big factor,
Yeah.
we got black on black crime. We got all of these things that's
We got
happening
police
right now.
brutality.
Police
So
brutality
who's gonna save us from those undesirables that are right here in the U.S.?
Right.
that was born here in the U.S.
You know,
You see what I'm saying?
It's like we have to clean up our country first.
seriously.
But see, here's the thing, and when people say we have to clean up our country first, why are we letting these people in our country?
What people?
Immigrants.
Okay.
Why are we letting people, the undesirables, into our country?
If we're gonna be politically correct, we're all immigrants. So,
Because that lady stands in the harbor saying, "Give me you're tired, you're weak, you're humble, and you're poor."
Yeah.
However,
don't
and
be,
that's great, but
we don't want the black ones.
we don't
Well,
want to
Mexico-
sink
well,
our
Mexico-
country either. You
Yeah.
But
know,
how are you thinking that? And I
you
have
gotta let
we gotta differentiate the mentality, the thinking. So we got Republican, we got Democrat, right? And this is just so people can understand. Republicans, they are for the corporation, meaning they have a business mind. Trump has a business mind. So he's not going to think of the people. Democrats think of the people first. Everybody needs health care. We need to make sure they have it.
Right.
Republicans is like, hell no. They need to figure it out or they're SOL.
So here's where I agree to disagree. I think that everybody, bottom line, is the same. I think they just have different avenues on getting there. Because when you say Democrats, again, these Democrats that we vote for, that a lot of people vote for, they don't live like you.
Of course
They
not.
don't live like the average
So
American.
they're not going to relate.
Right.
So they can't relate. They can relate more to a Republican
Yes.
than they can to
Yes.
a regular citizen. So when you talk about politicians and you talk about their families or spouses not being in the military, let me tell you what look good on a resume. What look good on a resume if you do 3 to 4 years in the Air Force, then you jump out and you jump into politics because that helps you when you go run for governor. Hey, this retiree or this veteran of the services,
Yes.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So all that stuff is strategic. It's strategic.
Yes.
That's how I see it.
So let me add this in. In 1965, a major change happened under pressure in part from the Civil Rights Movement. Congress passed the Immigration and Nationality Act. It prioritized immigrants who already had family members in the U.S. It also sought to offer protection to refugees from areas with violence and conflict. And I think that's what they tried to do when they opened up the immigration for a lot of Syrian refugees, where we had a big conflict with that, and everybody was against it, and some were for it.
Well, I think when you're making immigration policies or laws or whatever, of course Congress has the upper hand legislation, you know. Why can't we, there's never going to be a clear-cut, seamless way to do things. There's going to be trial and error. But I think what Obama was striving to do, about the way he was going about it, he had a comprehensive immigration policy. And that's with people who are able to contribute to the economy, they pay their taxes like everybody else, that type of thing. That makes sense to me. But if
But
you
he
have,
also had compassion.
he's a people person. It was about the people. It wasn't about the corporation necessarily. So, but what Trump, it seems like he's doing a whole vindictive, his intent is not pure, it's not genuine. It's like, I'm going to one-up Obama. It's not for the good
It's
of the
not
people.
coming from a place that
A sincere, genuine,
let's
empathetic
find
way.
cohesiveness within these immigrants and people who are already here. It's more like he's coming from a place of, I don't care. We don't care as a country about anybody
He's
else.
speaking for the masses of us.
Okay, so black people, it's your fault.
Huh?
Minorities, it's your fault. No, listen. How the hell did Donald Trump become president?
That was a farce.
You know
The whole
how
election
he became
was
president?
ridiculous.
A lot of people say, okay, if you don't vote, then you really can't say anything.
Exactly.
But
If you don't vote, then you can't do shit.
No,
But I was in a country where I'm free,
listen.
and I
The
can't
thing is with voting, when you vote, like they say, vote, you can make a difference. If you don't know how to vote, if you don't know who you're really voting for, then you can't make any difference. You're not voting for the President of the United States, honey. Let that be clear. Let that marinate a little bit and say it again. You are not voting for the President of the United States. What you're doing is voting for the state representatives. Your state representative. So it would behoove you to find out who your state representative is and find out what issues they back. Because
Get
I'm gonna
involved.
give you, you gotta get involved. You gotta, knowledge is power.
That's right.
So when I voted the first time that Obama ran, I'm thinking I'm about to go in there, make history. I'm vote for the black man. I'm gonna be honest, I voted for him because he was black. But that was before I tried to obtain knowledge. Okay. So when I went and I'm looking at the ballot, I'm seeing all of these names that I had no clue about. I didn't
know anything about
and
what
so
they were even
I
doing.
pretty much was doing an any, mini, money, mo.
Right.
Because I didn't know. It is very important that you guys find out who your state representative is. Because if you vote for the wrong person, or if you just vote for somebody, they could be against everything that you stand for. That person will vote for the president. You have the Electoral College, which is made up of the Senate. Congress has the deciding vote, really.
Right.
The Senate and the Electoral College is not evenly distributed because you have states that are small states. Their population is small. Then you have states that are humongous. So it is not even logical for them to have the same amount of electoral votes. But before I get in all of that, I just suggest that you guys do your homework before you go out and vote. I think the election or something is coming up November.
Yeah.
So that means you have, what's this, July, August, September, October, 4 months to obtain some knowledge and find out who your state representative and what issues that they're backing. Because I think I looked up Ted Cruz, and he was totally against everything Obama was for.
Is that really what's going on? Like, everybody's kind of like, whatever Obama did, we want to
We don't
undo.
stop it.
Yeah,
That's
That's
why
crazy.
I think some of them are just trying to get on that bandwagon so they look good for the next person who's trying to become president. So then you're like, oh, I'm gonna find my man
I feel like we okay. So here's the thing. If I feel like we should be ashamed of ourselves sometimes as Americans, because if we send Donald Trump forward and we say this is the person that we have elected to be representatives of the United States of America, and then we say here's Donald Trump and him hugging someone from the KKK.
That's contradictory to me. I can't even.
What I'm saying is, if Donald Trump hugs someone from, if President Obama hugs someone from the Black Party movement, do you realize the type of backlash he would receive?
Of course.
But what I'm saying is, I don't feel like we speak out enough as minorities. And I mean, I'm not talking about just African Americans and Spanish. I'm talking about people who don't benefit from.
I feel like they think they probably don't have a voice in it.
That's exactly what it is.
But they need to come together.
But when you say come together, what does that look
you
like?
have a lot of people who are like, I'm angry about this situation, I'm angry about the immigration situation. Well, what do you want to do about it?
Right.
Oh, nothing, there's nothing we can do.
Right.
Because we're expecting the
have
next
that
person
mentality.
to do it first.
Right.
We're
Well,
lazy.
why don't they do this? Well, why don't you do it?
We don't do the research. We don't take the time to do research. The great thing about That's What's Up, if you're just tuning in, we're laying out not only our opinions and experiences, we're laying out
Facts.
So with that being said, and if you want to jump in the comments and you want to argue a point, that's great. But the thing about it is, and I'm not blaming everything, let me make this clear, on Donald Trump. I think that we as individuals, sometimes we're lazy. And like you said, we don't speak up, and because one, we don't know how to speak up in a fashion where people are going to listen. You can't speak out of anger and expect people to understand your
because they're just going
value.
to see you as a terrorist threat.
Definitely.
Even if you are black and if you're not saying things for the good, say there was a young lady when Kanye West did that whole slavery was a choice thing. There was a young lady who pretty much agreed with what he said, but I think everyone looked at the surface analogy, or they listened to the surface analogy. Wait a minute, what do you mean slavery is a choice? I don't think they really thought more into it than that. But I think that people look at the media. Look what they're showing on TV. They make sure that you see police killing a black person or shooting a black person or mistreating a black person. So that keeps the rest of y'all black folks in line.
Right.
So no one
And then it keeps the separation happening.
Yes.
Media feels racism and hate.
Oh,
They do
yeah.
it really badly.
Why does it seem like 2 years ago it wasn't so prominent, but now all of a sudden it seems like it's in your face, like
every
it's
single
on
day it's something. Every single day it's becoming more and more prominent and more televised.
Why though? Do you think it was because of Trump, or you think this is how people felt, and somebody is now speaking on? So, now I can say what I've been feeling all along.
I think for the news and the media, I think it's ratings, but I think it's happening so consistently because nothing has ever gotten done about racism. They just kind of sweep it to the corner, things get quiet,
I like that.
and we're good.
I like what you just said.
And we're good, and we're not good. It's something that needs to be addressed head on. Just, racism and immigration kind of go hand in hand.
It does.
Community leaders, listen up. Here's the thing. Racism is not dead.
It is not.
So with that being said, that's why I love this panel. That's why I love the That's What's Up team. Because here's the thing. What we try to do is try to bring people that's going to promote different viewpoints. Of course, different skin tones and backgrounds and nationalities. But we also want to give out a message to the public. And that message is to speak up. To speak up, to stand with people who are going to, of a like mind, that's going to promote something positive in your community. Stop being afraid. If you see something wrong, speak out about it. You see what I'm saying? Reach out to your councilman, find out what's going on in your community. Get out there to those city council meetings and find out what's happening.
I think people, they don't want to do things if it inconveniences them. But then they want to sit behind the TV and complain, sit on Facebook and play Facebook with thugs when someone's opinion differs from theirs. I see a lot of that going on.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook thugging.
So
Facebook. Look again.
So now, what about employers? Now they're trying to penalize employers for allowing illegal immigrants or hiring illegal immigrants. Now, I think it's a drastic contradiction to what the immigration policy is for. Now, if you're trying to keep the undesirables, how do you know that the people that you're hiring that's coming in illegal is not undesirable, is not a criminal? You're not doing background checks.
They want that quick work, and they know that they'll do it for a little bit less than what a real contractor will do it for.
But you got folks saying
But
that's how much jobs.
but however, you're pulling in these people that you know nothing about, sometimes into your personal homes, your personal businesses. I mean, 9 times out of 10, there's probably not going to be an issue. They just want to make money too and support their family. But then you have those few. This is where the crime starts. And so, to be protected all the way around, and for the immigrants to be protected, it needs to be legal. Everything needs to be legal. That way, nothing can fall on the immigrant's lap, and they're like, I didn't do this.
Yes.
But they're going to get pinned because they're not legals, and most of the time they don't have a grasp or understanding of English language, so it's even harder for them to understand what's going on.
And then let me just point out, because if we're talking, in the whole immigration issue, where they're splitting kids from
Right.
their parents.
Right.
The thing is, when Obama did it, or if it happened when Obama did it, it was to make sure that that child belonged to that parent. Because
Right.
you have a lot of trafficking going on. You have a lot of
Yes.
drug mules. And what's happening, the culpability. There's a lot of culpability or blame to go on a whole lot of people. Now, of course, you got the insurgents of whoever's causing the chaos in
Yes.
that country, right?
Yes.
Okay, but then you have the parents. You have parents that are giving their kids, their teenage children, even younger children, birth control pills because they know the probability
Yes.
of them getting raped is increased because of the way that they're trying to come into the country.
Well,
Birth
and
control.
also these young ladies who are coming across the border from Mexico are being sexually harassed and assaulted
By the Border
by
Patrol.
the Border Patrol.
Yes, but what they're doing, they need an influx. They need so many thousands of Border Patrolmen.
So they're relaxing their
to be
laws
hired
for
because they
protecting.
feel like they can't keep the border safe if they don't have so many Border Patrol. But so they're, like I said, they're being lax on the requirements to
Right.
come in
And Border
do that
Patrol
job.
is supposed to be keeping not only American citizens safe, but they're supposed to be keeping citizens from Mexico safe too. They're supposed to be watching out and making sure these people who are coming across these vast deserts, making sure that they get health care if they're so dehydrated when they come through, or if they've been hurt, if they've been bit by a snake, if they've been shot at or whatever. That's their job as well.
But they don't care.
they're not doing
They
it.
don't care because they feel like you decided to come over here illegally.
Right.
So therefore, I'm not going to give you a cush hotel.
I agree with you, but I also see, there's a humane side to this.
Yes.
And my issue is that anytime that you have humans, you always have human error. So when
Right.
you talk about Border Patrol, I look at like the COs inside jails or whatever the case may be, and I look at how the mistreatment of inmates happen. So I'm gonna relate that to what you just said. My thing is this, if you're 13 years old, you're coming over here through the desert or whatever, it's like, do I really want to say, first of all, is it an easy process?
Of course not.
Is it an easy process from an immigrant to become an American
No, and I
citizen?
can tell you that firsthand. When I was a recruiter, I had to take one of my Dhat'z to INS.
Okay.
Because he was adopted from Korea at birth.
Okay.
His parents were older when they adopted him. They didn't finish the adoption process, or the getting him legalized in the United States process either. So when he came into the Army, there was a big thing about his name, and he had to be called his Korean name, and he hadn't been called his Korean name in 24 years, right? So we go to INS to check his I-55 card status and see where that was at. The lady wouldn't show him anything without him directly handing over $800. This kid doesn't have $800.
Right.
So, I kind of got into it with her. Initially, she showed me his I-55 card was good, and he could continue the process to get into the military.
And I
But
think
it's
that's the
expensive.
problem. That's the problem. See, here's the thing. You talk about the ghettos of America, and you talk about immigrants. If you don't have it, then you won't be able to live it. You won't be able to do it.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So
That's
you
true.
just made a great example of, if I'm coming to America, and I really don't know the process, or I don't have the money to go
Yep.
through the process, what do we do?
But
What do we do?
I'm torn on it because Alyssa was telling me about
Europe.
what country, Europe,
Uh-huh.
how it. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you want to come from America or any other country and live in Europe, you have to have so much money in your bank account, and if you don't have that, you have to have a sponsor that's willing to look after you and your care with X amount of money in their bank account to financially support you while you're going through the process and getting a job.
Wow.
If you don't have that in order, you will be denied your visa to get into the country to live.
Hey, listen, that's one hell of a way to keep shit down.
Yes, and that's
Because
how
I'm not
you
going to
earn it.
sponsor you if you
So,
bullshit.
so we can sit here all day and badmouth how American immigration system is, but if you want to go to Europe and live, you better be ready to pay the price, because it's a lot more expensive on that end.
Well, the thing about it is, it's like this. Okay, well, suppose we have friends that live in Europe. So that's great for people who network like that. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right.
Let's say you was prior military, or you know what I'm saying. You know people. My thing about it is the process to come into America. Is it difficult? Obviously, Europe has a game plan.
It is difficult to come into America. The process is very difficult. However, we have in place personnel to help people understand the laws and paperwork down to a T, exactly what you need to bring in every time you see your INS person. I don't know what they're called. So every time you go in, when you start the process, you can go down, you can get your paperwork, and they'll tell you, they give you a list, a very clear, concise list of everything that you're going to need to come back to start your paperwork and how much money you need up front.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say this. Let's look at this. So if someone proposed that if you have a criminal record, you can't come into America.
Right. If you come up with...
Would you be in agreement with it? That's my question.
Yes.
So if you have okay, great.
Well, okay,
Stay with me.
depends on what the. Okay, go ahead.
If you have a criminal record,
It doesn't matter what's on the criminal record.
okay, let's
just
say
say
minor offenses we ain't worrying about. Like if you
So major offenses, murder.
murder,
aggravated,
yeah.
okay.
So you can't come. Who is in agreement that you can't come to America?
Me, I'm in agreement.
Okay, cool. Now, suppose you are an American citizen and you are guilty of those offenses. Should you be deported? Oh shit.
You know what?
But where are they going to...
Oh shit.
Where that's
Well, you know,
question.
no. Let me
Would you deport them?
Let me answer this real quick.
We need to make room for
Instead of
good
having
citizens.
instead of jail, yeah.
Okay, so Europe back in the day, what did they do with all their...
I need a goddamn yes or no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
You'll be willing to deport.
I deport
If
them.
it's- okay, so one thing about it, we talk about economics.
But where are we deporting them to?
I don't give a shit.
That's just like...
On an island.
Okay,
On
so,
a deported island.
so like Europe did. Europe took all of their murderers, their rapists, and everybody...
And put them all together on an island.
And put them in Australia, because Australia was based on criminals.
Okay.
So when we do this, I mean, we're trying to solve the problem
I
here,
mean, take
folks.
them to Australia because there's a lot of weird, creepy things up there that kill you.
Now,
Insects,
of course,
snakes,
it
spiders.
still would be on a case-by-case basis. Like, if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
killed you because you raped my daughter, then, you know,
Oh, I'm saying-
it's a
That
case-by-case
happens,
basis.
yeah.
But I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I'm out here just killing and robbing people, whatever, should I deport your ass to the island so that way I can make room for an immigrant who actually wants to come and be a part
I'm
of
for it.
America?
Take their jails, build them somewhere else, get them
No,
out.
ain't no damn bill, no jail, no
Because what's
else.
happening is
Send your
that
ass to the
the
island. You get on the
citizens
boat
are paying-
and send your ass to the
are paying
island.
for these criminals to be in jail.
Right.
So get them the hell
Like
out.
Texas is the
I'm
worst
for it.
right now. Our criminal system is so understaffed and so overly run because we do have a lot of illegal persons in our prison systems, and they're illegally here, and they're stuck in this prison
Do
system
you all
because of
fucking
crimes.
realize how many goddamn COs I know? I didn't even realize all these people worked at the prison
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
Like, I'm just like, man. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck?
We don't, I mean, but there would definitely have to be a policy that kind of differentiates the ones that went in there because of drugs.
Yeah, a case-by-case basis.
Yes,
You get a
yes.
caseworker,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that we do,
Yes.
and they review, hey, this person was in jail because of X, Y,
I'm
and Z.
like, put them in the bus.
You know, no, I wouldn't even, I'm telling you right now, I would find an island. I would find an island. I would send the resources to build. I would send the resources to start the damn vegetation and all that good stuff. Here you go. I would even send livestock over
Figure it
there,
out.
right?
Yeah.
I would send all of the resources that you need. However, I'm not sending no ships. I'm not sending no planes, none of that. I'm sending all y'all over there. Get off the boat.
I think it's a good idea.
I think that should be awesome.
But what else? What other way can we actually start to communicate and get on one accord within the communities? Because we obviously are the ones that are electing these people that's in office now. Now, of course, the president-elect puts the people in the seat that's going to benefit his narrative. But what can we do as citizens of the U.S. That's if we don't get deported anyway? Because I feel like we all waiting in line. I don't give a damn what your nationality is. We all waiting in line for Trump to say, deport that ass.
I think that what we need to do is be more aware of what's happening in regards to
Awareness.
who is getting deported and why. Who is getting deported and why? If you tell me, hey, you shouldn't be mad at Donald Trump because President Obama is the one that started this initiative. But then when you get into the facts of it and you say, well, yeah, he started an initiative to do X, Y, and Z. You're doing A, B, and C.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You're trying to up one him though.
You know, I'm not agreeing to build no goddamn wall for people who ain't never done nothing to nobody and just want a better way of living. But yeah, I'll build a wall if you're saying, okay, that's going to keep out convicts that's going to come and rape my daughter because that's what they do in third world countries.
It's really not going to do that.
It's probably not.
It's not.
Because money talks. And in a lot of these third world countries, guess what? They got the money for the visas. They got the money to expedite themselves into the United States of America.
Speaking of, because you know, well, how do you even pronounce him? His wife, she conveniently has her citizenship now.
Oh yeah.
Like, how did that happen?
Well, I'm
So
pretty sure.
as soon as you start pushing,
You know how that happens.
when people start getting,
We know what you did.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
see it.
All of a sudden, because I was like, hell, deport her ass since you deport me.
I need somebody to call in, man.
The U.S.
Listen, let me.
Somebody call in.
Let me go ahead and we are waiting for your call, so we want to make sure that you call in to 254-300-1252.
Y'all stop playing and stop being scared. You know what it is.
If you have something to add to our discussion, make sure you
I know you do.
254.
Just got your phone turned back on. Go ahead and call in.
1252. We'll be waiting for your call. What's up, Z? Okay, so what were we saying?
Well,
she
I
got
just wanted to
citizenship.
talk about the USCIS, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. You can call them for help at 1-800-375-5283, and they'll help answer any questions that you have about obtaining legal
Can you get that
status.
number again one more time?
The number is 1-800-375-5283.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Now, do we have any other resolutions that we can actually, for people who do have family members that are trying to get over to the States and they can't afford to do it any other way, they can't afford to do it legally, is there any other avenues for them to come over here?
You know, I try to look up assistance programs for people who couldn't afford, and the only thing that keeps coming up is if you are under refugee status for war or
Hurricane
Yeah.
Katrina type.
yeah, you know, if you were once a part or affiliated with something that was wrong in the country that you're trying to come from, and you're trying to seek asylum in our country, there are steps you can go through on that, and I don't know the cost of that and how they do it, but I think it's case by case scenarios and basis on how much it will cost you. And sometimes, in some cases where you have given the United States, the FBI, or the ATF any kind of information and helped them, then I think they're going to help you and your family find refuge in the United States.
Will that even be, will it still take place if Trump has did a whole ban, like zero tolerance?
Yeah,
Like,
it would.
nobody
No,
gets it.
it still will take place. Congress still has a refugee act in place that even the president, I don't think, can touch. They didn't say too much about it, but the way it worded was more like that is stuck there, but it would get stricter.
So
The numbers would definitely lower.
So
who they allow.
the Queen, you know, has kind of put some stuff out there in reference to what we can do. So my thing is this. I agree with Donald Trump on a few things. And one of those,
Yeah.
I know.
Explain that.
I know. It's the white child. It's the white. I'm saying, I'm saying that I agree that 100% everything needs to stop right now in reference to letting people in, and
So they can fix it.
we need to sort out what we have
We need
right
to
now.
fix the problem
I
with
like-
immigration.
within
And
America,
within America.
you know what I'm saying, and its borders, and say, okay, who do we have here now? Why are they here? And then decide if those undesirables are here, and then get rid of those people. The problem is that we've allowed them to exist for so long. They built families and started businesses.
Businesses, and then now they're beating us up.
But you know, I would love to hear from somebody who is living in the United States illegally, and I would love to hear their side of like, what's the contrast for them?
Wait a
you know?
minute. You say you want to hear from somebody who's living in the United States.
You better not call in. You better not call in this show.
Call in and make them
I didn't say they had to call in. I want to hear from you though.
I know
We can
somebody
all
that's doing
apply
it.
for that.
I know.
But I want to know, like, is it what you thought it was? Is it worse?
Yeah.
Is it better? You know, are you finding that it's easier to provide for your family here and back home, or are you finding that you're still facing the same struggles of people are just not getting enough from you or from America.
I still feel like, listen, y'all, you know, and maybe this is just me to being trying to be optimistic, but I feel like America is even though we have our problems, I still feel like, you know what I'm saying, we okay.
Yeah.
We okay in reference to, yes, we do have the racism or whatever. When I'm talking about resources, I just feel like we have better resources.
But who's using them? If they don't, for one thing, they're not looking at you as people, as human beings with beating hearts. They're looking at you as animals, even lower
Or
than
dollar
animals.
signs.
So until they see you as real people, then the resources that we have is not going to be allocated the correct way. Because that whole narrative of keep the rich getting richer and the poor stay poor.
Right.
Let's not try to help the poor people at all, benefit or start businesses. We're going to help the people that come from somewhere else to start businesses, but the people right here, the people living under bridges. You have children that are in the foster care system right now. There's so many children, especially teenagers, that are they can't place them. No one wants a teenager because they're pretty much set in their ways. They're damaged goods, for lack of a better word. So you can't place these children, but you want to separate children from their parents that are coming over as immigrants, and then you're housing them in cages with inadequate water supply, food, clothing, the things that they need. And then you say, okay, if we don't find their parents, then we're going to place them in a foster care home.
So,
how are you going to place them in a foster care home when you can't place your children right here that live in the U.S.?
This is a speech that I want to hear, that I've not heard yet. Okay. I want to hear the speech that says, okay, we will not allow any more undesirables to come into our country. However, we will attack the foster care system. We will attack the welfare system. We will attack the unemployment rates and all of that stuff. We will fix America first. And that's not make America great again. We will fix America first. And that's what I'm not hearing from politicians. I'm not hearing that.
They need to stop covering up all these potholes.
If I'm homeless, right? I ain't got no damn job. You telling me what we're going to do is we're going to build, let's just say, a duplex or a complex where everybody can go, all the homeless people can go, whatever. And then in the mornings, we're going to have those people, we're going to train them how to fix potholes. We're going to train them how to do siding on whatever, the highways or whatever. If we do that, imagine how much greater we could actually be greater.
You know, and I thought about that just for our vet issue in general.
Definitely.
We have so many vets out there who are homeless and have so much that they can do for the community. And we're so lax on taking care of them. They can take care of this country, but we're not taking care of them.
I think because it looks good when you help, I don't want to say outsiders, I don't like that word, but you help people from other countries.
Well, it's important. It's better relations and it's import and export.
Yes.
And it's who benefits from that. If I make the deal, let's just say the deal is for $100 million, and I get 10 to 15% of that in my pocket, undisclosed or offshore account or whatever the case may be. Of course.
It's that mentality. That's the rich type of mentality, the business mind.
And I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
I get
that. Shit, I do it too if I'm in a position.
That is so. What about the people?
The thing about it is, if you're not, that's why we just said, if you're not smart enough to research and find out and ask those hard questions, then guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna stay broke.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna stay broke. So I think right here we're outlining a whole lot of stuff that needs to be fixed and needs to be addressed. So if you have a councilman, you have some type of city member that's a part of whatever, push this to them. Let us talk the hard talk with them or whatever the case may be. Ask them what are they doing. I don't care about how many photo opportunities you get. I'm saying, what are you actually doing?
Yep.
What are you actually doing?
What issue that's dirty and filled with all this stuff that we don't want to get through, all this grime? What do you got your hands in?
Right.
Do you even have your hands dirty in this? Trying to figure out the problem.
I think sometimes the problem is so big that they don't know how to tackle it, and so they just feel like put a band-aid on it.
Right.
Like racism. I think it makes people uncomfortable.
Racism is ugly.
It's very
ugly.
People don't. Oh, it's all in your head. You're making this up.
Facts.
That does not happen.
Definitely.
How are you going to tell me what's affecting me?
Definitely.
That is not happening. How?
When you it's a mental depression, because my thing about it, if you keep on telling me something that don't exist and I know it exists, imagine how much depression and anxiety and stress that's going to cause me as a human being.
Because we're trying to fight for it, and I just say fight. I'm using that word loosely, but we keep protesting. We keep talking about it, having meetings about it, but it's not going away because the people who are committing these injustices If they don't feel like it's a thing, what I'm doing is what I can do within the confines of the law.
Right.
But the law is not for everybody.
Good point. Good point. My issue is that I have an issue with people who say that, you know, all black people are this, or all white people are this. My issue is that I've met some phenomenal people of different nationalities and races and all that great stuff. And you, to me, is if you a messed up black person, then you a messed up black person. If you a messed up white person, but that's the same thing for police brutality.
Yeah.
All policemen are not bad. It's
but
just
it's so hard. Because if you stand there, if you stand there and this is your battle buddy, just like in the Army, you see your buddy do something, do you correct him right then?
If you support the bullshit, then you are part of the bullshit.
If you don't say anything about the bullshit,
if you support the bullshit, then you are part of the bullshit.
Not saying anything is the same thing as doing it.
Facts. I totally agree with that.
Regardless of
I
what
totally agree.
nationality you are.
I totally agree.
I feel like they're going to have each other's back.
Yeah.
So that's why people are looking at them as one, collectively. And they're saying they're all bad.
I think we got to be mindful of that, because the thing about it is, it's like, you know, someone asked me, now that you're retired out the military, what do you want to do? Do you want to do law enforcement? Do you want to do this? Do you want? And you know what? It's like when you say law enforcement, even though you want to make a difference, it's just like, man, I don't want to put myself in a predicament where I see my fellow policemen do something that I know is wrong. To me, I feel like I'm putting myself more in jeopardy, because I'm a legalized gunslinger.
You're going to be
You know what I'm
more
saying?
in jeopardy on both sides, because if you speak out, you are either get fired,
Right.
they will set you up to get killed.
There you go.
So, like,
that's why I say I feel like I don't want to put myself in such a position
I think
where
everybody feels that way. What you're saying, you don't want to put yourself in a position. If everybody takes that mentality, that viewpoint, that stand, that's why we're not doing it.
But some things are not okay. Everything is okay. If everything was a matter of life and death,
I choose me.
okay. A lot of people would choose not to be a martyr,
Yeah.
but to choose to live and survive.
Yes.
The issue is that when you decide that you want to say, I'm going to run for office, regardless of whatever office it is, and I'm going to be a spokesperson for the people, you are now saying whatever comes with this is what I'm willing to accept. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I agree with
Right,
that.
you're right. I agree with that.
So if it's racism, then it's racism. If it's immigration, it's immigration.
Yep.
Whatever needs to be talked about that's hard, you need to be standing in the wedge and talked about.
Can we say that again? Have those hard conversations,
You
ladies
have
and
to.
gentlemen.
Definitely.
So y'all
Definitely.
have any final thoughts? Because we're coming down
Yes.
to the final
Oh,
5
shit.
minutes. Oh, I want to definitely, don't forget, September 1st and 2nd, we have the Family Fun Fest. We are still looking for vendors and artists, because it is an artist competition. It's from 12 to 9 p.m. Again, it's at Stillhouse Hollow Lake, 3740 FM 1670 in Belton. We're looking for vendors, performers, and more. If you are interested in that, you want to reach out to the POP to be a point of contact, and that's DJ Messiah Smith, or Mr. Smith, I think I'm saying it right. And the number is 254-830, Lord, I can't talk, sorry. 254-833-0211, or you can hit that hot Gmail at k254radiotexas@gmail.com. It is family friendly, so we'll have kayaking games, free food, raffles, giveaways, performances. So if you got what it takes, you about that life, come on and get your thing on.
About that life. About
And
that
so
life.
again, that's September 1st, Family Fun Fest. And what's next? What else do we have? What?
She gave me something to read. Obviously, I don't have my contacts in. I can't read it. I'm gonna pass it back to her because she got the
I'm blind.
She got the super zoomed in.
Read the red print.
Okay, so Lord, raffle ticket for a trip to one of 6 locations of your choice with dinner included, games, kayak rides, tickets for 1 day is $15, or a ticket for 2 days, which is $25. Vendors are $30 for 1 day or $50 for the 2 days, so it's the first and the second. There's giveaways throughout both days, and DJ Sunkiss performing day 2. So DJ Sunkiss will be the DJ for the second day, so September 2nd. Again, if you want to perform, you can contact or reach out to the number 254-833-1252, or again, the email is k254radiotexas@gmail.com, and that point of contact is DJ Mr. Smith of K254 Radio. He will be in the building on both days, along with That's What's Up.
That's
Yes,
what's up.
yes.
Facts.
Do y'all have any final thoughts?
I
We
do.
don't look at final
I do.
thoughts. Go ahead.
Okay, so we need to address the topic of immigration as well as many other topics that are always awkward and scary and hard to have.
Yeah.
We need to address it because history always repeats itself. It wasn't our history, but they built a wall in Germany, East and Western Berlin. And you see how well that worked out.
Right.
So let's not divide so much. Let's try to find some understanding, and let's just renegotiate these immigration laws, because right now they're harming a lot of people inside and outside of the United States.
And just to add to that, even if it doesn't directly affect you, it indirectly affects you.
Right.
Get involved.
You're gonna know somebody
Right.
that this affects.
Yeah.
So, and not just with immigration, within our communities as well. Because if we're divided as a community, it's easier for these crimes and all of this craziness, these shenanigans to happen, even on social media.
Divided we fall.
Yeah. What do you have, Mario?
Ladies and gentlemen,
the thing is,
have the courage to make a difference.
yes.
Don't think that you're the small man on the totem pole and then that your vote doesn't count. So whether it's voting, using a ballot to vote, or whether it's just having that conversation, if it's Facebook Live, if it's text messages, whatever it is that you use to communicate on a daily basis and a regular basis, make sure that you get involved. Here's the thing. What you get involved with as a role model, hopefully your kids also follow suit. I'm not saying they need to share your same beliefs, but they need to understand why you believe what you believe, or whatever the case may be. I think racism is wrong. I think immigration for the wrong reasons is wrong. Like the Queen said in reference to the undesirables, we don't want people in here that's not going to benefit America and that's going to cause us harm as citizens. So again, get involved. Make sure that you stay encouraged, and make sure that you protect what it is that you love.
Yes, yes. So we want to thank you all for viewing and liking and following our page and our show. Make sure, again, follow and like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can go back and watch our past shows as well. So, I'm LaWanda, a.k.a. Neo to the Queen.
Elisa.
You know what it is, Mr. K2 101.
And you're listening to
That's What's Up
on K254 Radio, baby.
Still sitting on the bed.